The royal welcome in Paris was nothing short of spectacular as Prince Charles and Queen Camilla embarked on their three-day state visit to France. The streets echoed with cheers of King from Parisian balconies as the couple arrived to a rapturous reception. Prince Charles, visibly delighted, waved to the adoring crowds as he strolled through the Parisian streets alongside French President Emmanuel Macron. The two leaders exchanged gifts and engaged in discussions at the Élysée Palace, setting the tone for a grand state dinner later in the evening. Their journey began when Charles and Camilla touched down at Paris-Orly Airport, arriving on a private chartered flight from Farnborough. They were warmly welcomed by the French Prime Minister, Elisabeth Borne, representing President Macron and the French government. Additionally, they were greeted by James Cleverly, the UK's Foreign Secretary, Dame Mena Rawlings, the UK's ambassador to France, and Hélène Trehudachin, the French ambassador to the UK. Camilla added a splash of color to the occasion, donning an elegant dusky pink wool crepe coat dress designed by Fiona Clare and a matching barrette-shaped hat by milliner Philip Treacy. She clung to her hat amidst blustery conditions as they made their way along a meticulously prepared red carpet. The royal couple was then chauffeured in the state Bentley to the Arc de Triomphe, where they were greeted by President Macron and his wife, Brigitte. Here, they participated in a solemn ceremony of remembrance, laying wreaths at the iconic monument. President Macron paid a small bow to the King and Queen, while Brigitte Macron, in a navy jacket and short blue skirt with heels, greeted Camilla with friendly kisses on both cheeks. The interaction between President Macron and the Queen led to some shared laughter as she tried to keep her hat secure. Earlier, President Macron and his wife had posted a heartfelt video tribute to the British monarch on their social media platforms. The message read, "You visited as a prince, you return as a king. Your Majesty, welcome." As part of the ceremony, Prince Charles was invited by President Macron to symbolically light the eternal flame at the Arc de Triomphe, a tribute to those who lost their lives in the First and Second World Wars. Following this, the King and President held a meeting before attending a black tie event at the Palace of Versailles, where they were joined by Sir Mick Jagger. A military band played the national anthems of both Britain and France before Prince Charles and President Macron inspected the soldiers. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla engaged in lively conversation with Madame Macron. After inspecting the guards, Prince Charles and President Macron made their way to the plateau at the heart of the Arc de Triomphe. There, they paid their respects at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Both men bowed in silence in front of the eternal flame beneath the war memorial, placing a wreath together in memory of those who perished in the world wars. Among the white and red roses adorning the wreath, Prince Charles included a handwritten card bearing the words, "In everlasting remembrance," in both English and French. Following the lighting of the eternal flame, the bugle call Aux Morts, the French equivalent of the last post, was sounded, followed by a minute of silence. The British national anthem was then followed by the French national anthem, La Marseillaise, as a magnificent flypast by the Patrouille de France, and the red arrows roared above the Champs-Élysées. This historic event harkened back to Queen Elizabeth II's final state visit to France in 2014, when she arrived at the same iconic Arc de Triomphe. The president of the Flame Committee extended an invitation to Charles and Camilla to sign the Livre d'Or, or the Golden Book, as a gesture to commemorate their visit. Following this, their Majesties, accompanied by President Macron and Madame Macron, departed in a waiting car, driving down the Champs-Élysées towards the Élysée Palace. They were escorted by 2 squadrons of the Mounted Regiment of the Garde Républicaine. During their meeting at the Élysée Palace, the King presented President Macron with a photography album containing images of the two of them. Additionally, Charles, at the age of 74, gifted Mr. Macron a complete edition of the writings of the renowned French author Voltaire, including Voltaire's Letters sur l'Anglais, also known as Letters philosophiques. These works have been meticulously edited by Professor Nicholas Cronk, the director of the Voltaire Foundation and a prominent academic at Oxford University. The monumental complete edition, comprising 205 volumes, was completed in April 2022. In return, President Macron presented the king with a golden coin featuring Charles's portrait issued by the Monnaie de Paris. He also gave him a first-edition prize-winning French novel, Romain Gary's Les Racines, The Roots of Heaven, which had won the Prix Goncourt, France's highest literary award, in 1956. The king and Mr. Macron arrived at the Élysée together just before 4 p.m., followed closely by the Queen and Brigitte Macron. They exchanged pleasantries at the end of a red carpet in the courtyard, sharing laughter and jokes. They then made their way up the red carpet, pausing to pose for photographs before Charles and Camilla led the way inside. President Macron appeared particularly animated and engaged with the gathered media. Inside the Élysée Palace, the king and Mr. Macron posed for photographs in the lavishly decorated Salon d'Or, which serves as the president's main office. Charles humorously inquired if the waiting photographers were always present. They posed before the French and EU flags before taking their seats for a private discussion. At 4:40 p.m., the king and President Macron left on foot, heading to the UK ambassador's residence, where they would plant an oak tree presented as a gift by the French president. The two men appeared engrossed in deep conversation as they strolled out of the grounds together. In anticipation of the monarch's arrival, President Macron took to social media to share a video montage of archived footage of Charles's previous 34 trips to France as the Prince of Wales. The poignant video spanned decades, featuring a young Charles and moments of him speaking in French, even admitting, "I don't practice the French language enough." President Macron proudly shared the montage with the caption, "You visited as a prince, you return as a king. Your Majesty, welcome." Charles, aged 76, and Camilla, aged 74, had a packed itinerary with 21 high-profile engagements scheduled over just 3 days. This visit marked Charles's 35th official visit to France and Camilla's 9th. Their last visit to France was in 2019 when they attended a service at Bayeux Cathedral to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Normandy landings. Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh also undertook a state visit to France in 2014. Charles and Camilla shared their excitement about the trip on social media, posting a joint tweet alongside footage of their arrival on their jet in London. "We are so looking forward to joining you in Paris and Bordeaux as we embark on our first state visit as King and Queen to France, a country for which we both have the greatest love and admiration. We will celebrate the special bond between our two countries and all that your wonderful country has to offer. A bientôt, France." As part of the Anglo-French diplomatic efforts, President Macron would host a state banquet in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, while the king would become the first British royal to address the French Senate, delivering speeches in both English and French. Notably, the king had to cancel his previous state visit to France due to widespread riots across the country opposing Macron's retirement age reforms. Instead, Germany became the historic first destination for the couple following the death of Queen Elizabeth. In the lead-up to the planned visit, protesters had vandalized buildings with the words "Death to the King" in threatening red paint, warning of worsening violence if the monarch arrived. The French leader requested that the British government postpone King Charles and Queen Camilla's visit to France due to nationwide pension protests organized by French unions that were set to coincide with the king's trip. The unrest extended beyond Paris, as protesters even set Bordeaux's town hall on fire just a few days before the monarch's scheduled arrival. However, Charles and Camilla are still expected to arrive in Paris this afternoon, and the overall plan for their visit remains largely unchanged from their initially planned trip in March. Buckingham Palace announced the rescheduled state visit, which is set to take place from Wednesday, September 20th to Friday, September 22nd, 2023. The visit aims to celebrate the shared history, culture, and values of the United Kingdom and France. Chris Fitzgerald, Deputy Private Secretary to the King and Queen, revealed that the trip's agenda includes addressing mutual concerns such as climate change and biodiversity protection. Additionally, discussions will focus on strengthening security and defense ties, especially in response to the conflict in Ukraine, and recognizing exceptional cultural achievements. A highlight of the visit will be a glamorous gathering at the Hall of Mirrors, where celebrities have been invited to dine and socialize with King Charles and Queen Camilla. This opulent space was designed to reflect the grandeur associated with Louis XIV, the Sun King. Among the notable guests expected to attend the evening event are rock icon Mick Jagger, who will travel from his Château de Fork House, in the Indre-et-Loire department, and Bernard Arnault, the head of the LVMH luxury goods conglomerate. Arnault, who owns luxurious properties in both Paris and Bordeaux, is renowned for his immense wealth, which consistently places him at the top of rich lists, with Forbes estimating his fortune at £178 billion. He was knighted by the late Queen Elizabeth II in 2012 for his contributions to business. For the evening soirée, King Charles has reportedly provided a detailed list of culinary preferences. The menu, curated by Michelin-starred chefs Yannick Alano, Anne-Sophie Pic, and Pierre Hermé, was sent to London for approval. Notably, the menu excludes foie gras but includes mushrooms, which hold sentimental value for the King and Queen as they evoke memories of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Asparagus, originally on the March menu, has been removed due to being out of season. During their visit, while Charles addresses senators and members of the National Assembly, Camilla will join France's First Lady, Macron, in launching a new Franco-British literary prize at the Bibliothèque Nationale de France. The royal couple will also engage with various community sports groups and sports stars, coinciding with France's hosting of the Rugby World Cup and preparations for the upcoming Olympics. In Bordeaux, the King and Queen will meet with emergency responders and communities affected by the 2022 wildfires, underscoring the importance of addressing climate change. Furthermore, they will interact with British and French military personnel and participate in a Gari campaign that showcases businesses from both countries. Concluding their packed itinerary, King Charles and Queen Camilla will visit an organic vineyard before returning to Scotland, where they spent the summer. Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.